Hi guys, this is my concept map. I kind of tried to come up with a more creative approach to creating this. So this is what I came up with, which it is ultimately obviously a flower. And I kind of came up with the idea based off our student example we were given because I really liked her idea on growth and development, as I think that's really two important things with leadership. So I kind of wanted to center my concept map around those ideas as well. And so down at the bottom where the petals and the leaves are, the petals and the bees are, is represents where each of the theories lie. And so those kind of show if the theory is centered on followers or if it's centered on leaders and the followers. So because leadership can be a complex process to understand fully, and it also has multiple dimensions, I think it is important for us to first gain an understanding for which each theory and or approach is centered on. So as we can see, servant, adaptive, path goal, and transformational are all centered on the followers, while authentic and the leader membership exchange theory are both centered on the leaders and the followers. So first, authentic leadership should possess these 5 qualities that I have drawn here, along with their related behaviors, in which I got this kind of this diagram out of our Nordhaus book in the authentic leadership chapter. So these are the 5 qualities I think that are essential to becoming an authentic leader. So as you can see, it is purpose, values, relationships, self-discipline, heart, and then their related qualities as well. And so authentic leadership is one in which I also thought can be developed and measured. And then the leader-member exchange theory to leadership focuses more on the dyadic relationship, which also it focuses on describing leadership and prescribing leadership. So the leader-member exchange theory focuses on that dyadic relationship. This style is different from many of the others because it shows the significance of communication. It is also one of the only ones to focus on both the leader and the follower. And then transformational leadership, which is one of my favorite approaches to leadership, is the other style that also focuses heavily on the leader-follower relationship. Transformational leadership is often put into comparison with transactional leadership. Transactional leadership focuses more on a task being completed and the leader giving the follower a reward, whereas transformational leadership goes into building a relationship and connection centered on morality and motivation. And then it is also really centered on that leader-follower relationship where charisma is really built and that the leader uses to heavily influence the connection. And then the path goal to leadership, which helps followers define and reach goals. So obviously goals are the main focus of this theory. And then the behaviors that the leader should have are achievement-oriented, directive, supportive, and participative. And then one aspect that is really important to the path goal style of leadership is motivation. The leader should have ways of motivating their followers to completing those goals. And then adaptive leadership focuses on how people change and adapt to new circumstances. And so it is mainly on how leaders help others do the work they need to do in order to adapt to the challenges they face. So these are basically just the steps of adaptive leadership for the followers to follow, which first is to get on the balcony and then identify and adapt a challenge, and then they should regulate a distress, and then maintain disciplined attention, and then give the work back to the people, and then finally protect leadership voices from below. And then also servant leadership is defined as place the good of followers over their own self-interest and emphasize follower development. So servant leadership focuses on the behaviors leaders should exhibit to put followers first and to support followers' personal development. It is concerned with how leaders treat followers, and the outcomes that are likely to emerge. Servant leadership is a style in which can be applied at many different levels in organizations. This is primarily because of how straightforward the approach is. I most typically enjoy connecting servant leadership with sports and coaches because that is where I see most people acting as servant leaders. For example, coaches or players will put their own personal needs aside in order to help another player to better the entire team. Lastly, I have the others, which I consider the small but important approaches, which are skills, trait, and situational. So skills focuses on the leader and the skills they have, and then so basically the leader's capabilities. And then trait is what the leader capabilities is born with, and the situational depends on the situation.